Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm Ben Brackett, your Soccer Talk co-host, alongside my good buddy Blake Sievers. Siebes, how are you?
I'm good. I love a little Saturday afternoon pod.
Yeah, we don't do this very often, but it's a beautiful day. We're happy to be here. We're also alongside the Titan tactician, Matt Sahag. Matthew, how are you?
I'm doing great. You know, it's like you said, it's a beautiful day. You can tell things are heating up in the Iowa, sort of soccer scene. We've got tons of good games. You know, there's some parents posting on Facebook going nuts about some of the games this week. What do you think, Blake?
Like you said, we are in the thick of it. I love it.
We were just saying, so
teams are playing 2 or 3 times a week.
I was going to say, so this weekend is the first weekend in May. And we were just talking the sub-state. Is it the sub-state pairings that are out May 18th, or is that when the state rankings will be out? Like the state tournament set? No, I think it's sub-state rankings for the boys will be out on the 18th, and the girls is shortly thereafter. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't know if that's right. I'm sure somebody will chirp us and make sure we've got that correct. But we're weeks away from thinking about the state tournament and. About a month away from the actual dance itself. So starting to get excited. This week we decided we'd go cover a little boys soccer. So we had a kind of double game of the week.
Can't please anybody, can you, Benny? Because we've been pretty female heavy for the first couple weeks. And now they're
we're trying to kind of bounce.
Boys.
Yeah, we're trying to bounce back and forth, though. We're doing what we
Did
can.
you guys get
feedback.
Did you get some feedback? You were wondering when the boys are going to get covered?
Yeah, when are you going to focus on the boys? We need to talk about boys games. So we do as we're told.
Give the people what they want. So we're just our couple games of the week this week were the Merl Hay Cup on Tuesday. 4A Johnston now hosting or going across town to play at Urbandale, who is now 4A. Urbandale was the state champions, or were the state champions last year. Johnston, in the past 3 or 4 years, have been one of the top performing teams, making the Final Four, I think, every year and winning state at least twice in there. So, kind of a big-time matchup. And then we also, on Friday, took a look at the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars as they hosted the Iowa City West. I always forget. What are they? The Trojans.
Yeah.
And so Centennial, top ranked this year, or one of the top ranked teams, and West maybe not having as strong of a year, but they're always so well coached, and they've always got good players, always tough to beat. So we thought that would be a great game to follow. And I think we were right on both accounts, weren't we, Blake?
I would agree. I love a little Merl Hay Cup.
It was one of our original kind of game of the week features, wasn't it?
Yeah, talk about a cool trophy name. Obviously, it used to be one of the biggest rivalries for Johnston. I hope it still is, but obviously, right, they're growing. Urbandale's not growing as much, so I'm curious nowadays what the boys think on both sides of it.
Well, I guess based on the result, that Johnston cares now. If they didn't before.
Yeah, they better get it figured out because.
Since we've been doing this now, with this like year 5, year 6, whatever it is,
might be more.
I feel like the Merl Hay Cup has been, the so-called rivalry game, but it's all Johnston, right? So,
yeah, it has been. It's been one-way traffic as far as.
So it just hasn't really been a rivalry game because Johnston has been the superior team for several years.
Yeah, but.
Except for last year?
I was going to say, like, the head-to-head matchups make it, I think, a little bit interesting.
Are you pulling this stat up or no?
Yeah.
I'd like to know.
I'm trying to, because I think there's a historic, on Bound, there's a history that you can go through and view kind of the previous games.
All right, well,
if we were prepared, we would have...
as you're looking that up, we'll just give a shout-out to Bound. That's gobound.com. It's an awesome website if you're trying to follow high school sports in general, but also specifically.
So here you go. Good. Thanks for the segue, Ben, and giving us a little bit of time. So, yeah, Urbandale won last year in 2025, 2-0. But over the last 15 years, I think Johnston is 10 wins and 4 losses. So
I wonder if they have any sort of tradition like the the Ankeny rivalry up there, the Centennial, the Jaguars-Hawks rivalry. They do like the spike, the golden spike for the winner.
I don't know, but it's obviously Ben Johnson heavy. And there's no real Merl Hay Cup, because hopefully our video guy would have got that celebration if
there was an
actual cup.
Well, it's inconclusive. He's also dragging graduate, so you'd think he would know. But
so what's interesting though about that, to me, the last year's result 2-0 Urbandale is, Urbandale ends up winning it last year in 3A. Johnson goes to the final in 4A. And obviously we'll talk a little bit about what's happening now, but Urbandale is now a 4A school competing. Yes. And when you then take that even broader and think about how everyone, or not everyone, but there's a strong contingent at Urbandale trying to draw Urbandale sports out of the CIML, I think into the Little Hawkeye Conference, is that right? So that they can compete, correct, yes. So they can compete a little bit more so. So when you then look at what their boys soccer team is doing
this
right
isn't
now,
helping their case, is it?
Well, I love it. I'm so glad they stayed in the CIML.
Yeah, 100%.
But like when you look at what, it's just one of these things where everyone's like, well, we're just not competing or not winning in sports, and so we got to jump to this other conference. But I think just what it shows is if you get a good group in any particular sport, you can be very, very competitive. And Urbandale has shown, last year they beat in the Merl Hay Cup the team who ended up taking second in 4A, and then they, won 3A. And so I think that's significant for a couple of years. And now obviously we'll talk about the game tonight, but they've had a great season so far in 4A. So.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the game real quick. So, ends up being a 2-1 victory to the Jayhawks. Peep our Instagram if you want to catch the Urbandale goals. Because even though we were teasing about some of the things our video guy doesn't get right, he sure got his shots right the other night. Let's talk about those goals real quick, Matt.
I think the way I would describe them are, those are, well, what's interesting about it, I think, is if you watch Urbandale play, they've got some really crafty kids on the ball, right? And so they're just good technically. They've got a lot of creativity on the ball, I think, so they're fun to watch, number one. But when you look at the goals are, effort goals. They are scrapping in the box, winning headers, and like that first one especially, I think, if our reel's in sequence,
yep,
is if there's actually two headers, right? So the ball comes into the box off a free kick. The first player I think if I remembered it correctly, he actually goes down to get it with his head, right? Yeah, so 10 clips it in. Yeah, he goes down and just kind of lifts it up, and then you've got two Urbandale players in a position to score, and one heads the ball in.
Yeah, heads it back across. And
what we were talking about last week. Just desire, fight,
correct,
intensity, just wanting to actually put yourself out there, and
so when you got a team that actually can play a little bit, plus they've got the desire, that is a winning. That's a state championship bound recipe for, Iowa soccer.
What a story that could be, right? Going winning 3A one year and then going.
That'd be crazy.
Doing a job on 4A.
I'd love to see that.
We talk about the second goal though too, because similar, right? Not the prettiest build up and whatnot, but just desire and commitment, and I think being in the right spot at the right time. But just a great goal that they should be super, super proud of, because they figured it out, and that kind of put the game away.
Correct. So,
and it's not. Also, by the way, though, don't forget they scored a other goal with the header that got called back, right? So they scored 3 goals off of kind of set pieces or headers, sort of balls in, which is significant. And it was an interesting. I think there was some controversy around the goal. I'm not sure what happened. Was it a foul or an offsides or? Okay. Yeah, so Evan's telling us that he didn't necessarily see how it was a foul, but again, they went up, and I think it was 1-0 at that point in time too. So that was the to get up 2-0, which I think sometimes, when you get that happens where you're up 1-0, you put the ball in the back of the net and you look over and the referee's got the flag up. That is such a huge momentum swing to go up 2-0 in a game like that, and then to sort of have have that dashed quickly. It can be tough sometimes. So I'll credit to those guys to get right back in there and score another effort goal.
And you want to talk about seeding a little bit, Ben, looking ahead.
Let's do it.
Urbandale. And you want to talk about they've played Northwest where they dropped a 1-0 loss. They tied Prairie. They tied Centennial.
And they lost to Southeast Polk too, didn't they? Early in the year.
But they played all the quote, some of the bigger teams, and now. To me, again, you never want to look too far ahead, but Tumwa, DCG, Hoover, Waukee, Ankeny. So if they can keep the momentum going, surely they've got to be easily the 1 seed in their sub-state, but ranked in the top 3, 4, 2 in the state, right? See what the rankings committee thinks.
Fair enough.
And conversely, Johnston, right? We're number 1. We're undefeated, and obviously dropped this one to Urbandale.
Kind of tough week for the Drags. They also then drew last night with Dowling Catholic 0-0, and Dowling's just not as strong. They're pretty young this year, and a 0-0 result is not necessarily what you'd expect.
Yeah, and they got a gauntlet coming up.
Who's that?
Johnston does, because they play next week. They play Northwest and at Valley. And then, they make up an Ames game, but then they play Centennial. And then later in the year, they go to Prairie. So Urbandale's kind of got themselves figured out, I think. Johnston's now got the big boys coming ahead of them, and we'll see what Jimbo and Timmy can do.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go to sleep on Dowling quite yet. They've had a good week. So they beat Waukee earlier in the week. Then they go and draw with the Dragons. Your Dragons, Blake. So, I feel like you discounted them a little bit right there.
Oh, it's a good week for them.
It was Ben first.
Yeah.
He's usually critical of Dowling.
I just said that they were inexperienced, which is true.
Yeah, but he said something different.
I saw the Dowling boys training the other night. I saw them training the other night, actually. They had it was pretty kind of a cool little deal because you look at the squad, right? It was 11v11, so the coaching staff was playing against the boys, and I don't know. Jacko was playing up top. He's like, give the ball to him, let him run past all these young boys, and there was some controversy if he was still quick or not. But
I bet Jacko's got most of those guys
I do too.
beat.
That's why I said, boys, you better be careful.
He can run.
So yeah, Ben, what else you got? Yeah, Southeast Polk a little bit here.
Well, no. We were talking about our games of the week, and then I was going to wrap up a few little
go
overall
ahead.
4A things. So. The other game that we saw was, kept an eye on, was Centennial against Iowa City West. Centennial ranked 2nd this year, or at least previously, right? Most recently, behind Johnston, who obviously likely won't stay in that position. They're undefeated. They've won 6 games. They drew once. Based on the last ranking. So they are playing against Iowa City West, who at the time was ranked 8th, and they're just always a strong squad. Centennial led by Tate Duax, coach's son, Brian. I'm sorry, I said that kind of weird. Brian is the coach, and his son is Tate. But so Tate scored like a boatload of goals this year, and we've kind of been... he showed up last year after having a pretty cool experience playing down in Austin and played at a pretty high level. And we wanted to see him kind of taking games over, and it looks like he may have kind of grown into that role a little bit, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Centennial drew with Urbandale earlier this year.
I didn't know if it was supposed to be me.
Who are you talking to, Ben?
Broadly, I'm looking at both of you.
Well, talk about the goals then.
Yeah, without question, he's taken on that lead. So every time I check a Centennial score, Tate Duax is in the box score, or he's on a highlight reel this year, scoring like all types of different goals. I remember the first one I saw, I think, was like a left-footed sort of half volley from outside the 18-yard box that he just smacked in the back of the net. So both these goals actually for Centennial are they start with goal kicks from West. So first one comes.
West does really well
For what?
to keep
On the
the
goal
ball
kick?
moving forward.
What do you mean?
You're looking at it wrong.
West takes a goal kick. I'm looking at the first goal. There's 22 minutes.
Yeah.
There's 22 minutes left in the first half,
Yep, there's a goal kick from.
right?
There's a goal kick that.
There's a goal kick that West takes, right? So
The ball keeps going forward.
Yes, they help
That's
it
what I
on.
mean. That's
They help
good.
it on,
Like-
but then
but
Centennial
Centennial
collects it
helps it
and
on.
plays back to their goalkeeper.
yeah,
And it's how many passes is it, Matt? It's 1,
it's like
2, and a great turn here in the middle of the park from number 11. Great little connects pass in between the spaces, Blake, for you. And then Tate's in on goal and just zips one into that far post. Well, and it's
it's a really good really tidy finish.
I was
right?
going to say Blake's looking at it because it's not a very strong strike, like it's not a powerful hit, but he just tucks it right inside that back post, and it's at a weird angle. So it's like you wouldn't even really expect that I mean, obviously he got it there, but it's just not. It's a weird angle. So I thought it was a great finish too, Matt.
He hits it first time.
Yeah.
I was just saying, going back to the goal kick, right? The build-up, like we've talked about it now for a couple weeks on goal kicks and just not conceding, not giving yourself in a bad situation. Obviously, Centennial wins the first one, goes the wrong way, but West keeps going forward. So, like, they've actually done a decent job of not giving Centennial anything from the first ball or the second ball. Now Styles has to sort out the shape after they give it away, right?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest point I've got is so once Centennial plays the ball back to the goalkeeper, right? So I think that's where you want to take the if you're Styles and Sheffy, you want to take the picture, right? So the ball goes back to their goalkeeper, and in the screen is one West player presses the goalkeeper. Then you've got the next highest player is actually gets beat by the next pass into the Centennial right back, right? So when I'm looking at this screen, when the goalkeeper plays it, I've got 5 West players that are within like 25 to 30 yards of the goalkeeper's pass. And Centennial is just gotten themselves nice and big, and their central midfielders are sitting, right in the hole, in between the lines, as they say. And West is 5 of their players are pressing the ball, but the problem is then the rest of their back 3 or 4, or however many they have, they're all the way back behind the halfway line. So there is a gap in midfield from West's front 5 of, 10, 20, of 22 yards, right? So that is like the Grand Canyon, like in soccer terms, right? Where, so Centennial's player, then it goes into Centennial's right back.
So I wanted to just shout this out. Sorry not to interrupt you, but that right back looks like it's Marcus Gabriel.
Okay.
He just does a really good job of receiving that ball, turning it, and playing into the midfield quickly. Like it's not something you're expecting. Like if you're watching a high school soccer game, you're not like, hey, watch this great build up, and it's great build up, right? Like he does a great job, and then he plays into it's Ty Sexton, I think, number 11, and so he finds himself right. You're talking about that Grand Canyon, if you will, the space, right? He finds that space. He pushes himself further on the field, receives it, and does well to get out of there. And then he finds Brock Brazo, who is quick to like turn and release Tate, and he knows, and Tate knows, right? And Brock
That's the
knows.
ball. That's
Right.
the ball, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah,
But
right?
but hang on. So
The one from Brock.
Yeah, look at that.
So all right, but
No, I know, but it's the one. This one though gets him there, right? Gets him to that spot, and he's under pressure. He's got to do a little work. But this is right. It's 1, 2, and it's what a great little pass outside the foot. It looked like, and then Tate with a great finish.
So
I don't
my
know,
question though is, and this is like so if you're West, why are the front 5 so high? Like why are they pressing the ball? So let's just take those guys and I'm looking at, I've got 21:49 on the clock right now when the right back gets the ball. If
Matt,
you
can
were
I
to
go back further or not?
Yeah.
So they win the second header.
Yeah.
Nobody's running off of it.
Right.
City West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Right.
I mean, that's where you go. You got to start from if you're West.
Right. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. But then it also begs the question, though, too, of why would you press the goalkeeper if you didn't have those players in an advanced position in the first place? But I agree with you.
So it's just disjointed from West, right? Like the guys that are that front five should, as that ball gets flicked on, they should either just drop in and get in shape, or the whole team's got to go.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's one or the other.
Right. So, all right. So can I go back to
There's
24?
not a wrong answer necessarily.
24. Well,
Just
the wrong answer is how they played it.
It was doing neither. They didn't
So-
go together. They needed to go together.
21:49, right? So
Yep.
when I look at this, if you were to take those 5 West players and just drop them all 20 yards,
Yes, correct. 100%.
there's no goal here.
Yep. Even if just the 3 dropped.
Yeah. And
They're in
then
midfield.
here's the next picture I want to give you here. 21:46. Tate is on the 40-yard line. He's being triple man marked.
Yeah, he is. And
That's why Brock gets it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's got to be with the pink
is that
shoes.
Brock
Right? That's
in
got to
the-
be.
Yeah,
Brock.
Is
that's
that Brock
Brock.
on the
Yes, it is.
Centennial Tiger or whatever it is?
Yep, the Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Yeah. So he as he receives it, right, and watch a little outside of the foot, and it's really
I love that
nice.
pass. That outside the pass
Yeah, it's
is
really
great.
nice.
It's Carlos Valderrama-esque, isn't it? He just sits there, receives it,
Yeah, he just flicks
Doesn't
it
move
without his foot.
anywhere.
That's
No.
it's a great
and
pass.
that's a good little point too. Because you talk about kids checking, always running towards
Yes.
the ball, Sometimes,
Yes. So
sometimes
need
you
to
can
hold the
just
space.
stand
Yeah, hold it.
and get it.
Well, and especially when somebody like Tate is drawing 3 defenders, and he just is like, "All right, see you guys. You want to come or not?" And so Brock just knows. All right, I'll just put it in that space, and you go get it, big guy, and off you go.
Okay, so again, I want to look at. So I'm looking at the clock. It's 21:49 again, and Brock comes into the screen the first time, right? And he's on the Jaguar at the 45, and
Yep.
so he's standing.
He literally is just standing.
He moved a yard, and then he's played it. He's moved a total of like 3 yards. And like he's the smartest player in the
Has
field.
he split? Like it almost looks like they're playing
Looks
with
like
a
he
sweeper
split- yeah,
stopper.
looks
like
he
has he
split like 3
those
players.
two?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to.
It's hard
Holy
to tell
cow.
because the video's not like because it's so quick. Like
Yeah,
it
he
doesn't
did.
track it.
It did.
But it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So let's just not to fanboy too much over how good that was because it was very good. Then late in the first half, right? And so this would be by either, I'm sure Styles is listening to this, and if not, Sheffy is. So Sheffy will know that I'm first 5, last 5, or like bread and butter. And in high school soccer, that's where I think that's sort of like where teams are made, made and won, or lost and whatever, how you'd say that. Won and lost, made and not made. It's 49 seconds left. We go again with a goal kick from City West. This time, Centennial does a great job to win the first ball.
Yeah, but come on, West. You can't let that happen. Again, you can't let that
Right?
happen.
But then watch, he hooks that on, knows where Tate is immediately, and Tate draws 3 defenders, and this time just left foot instead, tucks it into the side netting. And it becomes a bit of a dagger, though, just because it's 2-0 going into halftime, right? Yeah. Blake doesn't like it because it's defendable.
It is. It's so preventable.
Yes.
From West, that they're going to be fuming.
But it's also really good from Centennial because it's like they're defending and they win the first ball. The first thought on the second ball is to play forward, find Tate while they're in transition, right?
Yeah, I mean, I go back a little bit. I'd be curious why the center back's taking a goal kick because
okay, so go ahead.
he
But that's my point.
should be 30 yards offside, but he's. I'm there's questions I've got, and Sheffy, Styles, they're going to be. I think they'll fix it.
I wonder if they've scouted that because, okay, so like when you look at when the goal kick is played, if you look at Tate, right, when it's played, he's on like the 15-yard line. Look where he's standing.
Yeah, he's just hanging out.
He's hanging there.
Yeah.
But then, like, if you really watch who's the player that hooks it onto him? That plays right corner.
I'm guessing it's Brazo, but
No,
Okay.
he's got white shoes.
All right.
Or black shoes,
So-
not pink.
If you
I
look
didn't
at
really look to see who it was.
this kid, has already if like as soon as it's kicked, he's actually facing Tate. I'm looking at number 7,
Yeah, I'll find it's
and so
Lucas de la Cuba.
all right. As soon as he gets right before he gets the ball, he's on like the 41-yard line. He actually looks. He has a little look, and then the ball comes to him, and boom! First time's around the corner into Tate.
It's a great
That's so good.
ball.
It really is.
Great ball.
That's so good. And then what I love about Tate's finish too is he actually he gets the ball. He's got number 17 coming after him. He takes a touch left, and then he splits the last 2 defenders. So he then strikes it back across the last defender's back. Goalkeeper's never going to see that, and then it's just into the right corner. It's a really, really good finish.
Penetrating passes.
Yeah,
Right? That ball.
it's a good goal.
Yeah, so just, obviously we haven't watched everybody play. We've only watched a little bit of Centennial, but judging by that, they're going to be really tough on the counter, right? And obviously they can build as well.
Can they?
Well, not for that first goal, right?
Yeah.
All
Do
the way
they
back
need
the
to?
Goalkeeper.
Do they need to? That's a better, yeah. All good questions, boys.
So I just thought we would quick round out some boys action. We mentioned Urbandale having a pretty strong week, win the Merl Hay Cup over Johnston. They also beat last year's 4A state champion Valley. My Tigers have dropped out of the top 10, so not looking good. Marshalltown had a pretty good week. They beat Ankeny 2-0, Mason City 8-0, and Fort Dodge 8-2. They've scored 47 goals this year, Marshalltown,
Wow.
which is a boatload.
Yeah.
Do you think the Fighting Rothharts up at Dubuque Senior have a chance? They're still undefeated. He's now been there for a few years, so he's got kind of a hand on the culture. They're 8-0-1, and they just keep plugging along. I don't know. It's a question for you boys. I know we don't know anything about.
Why aren't they in the top 10?
I think their schedule's a little bit soft. But Prairie, I mean, again, speaking of Eastern Side, Kurt Lewis, Cedar Rapids Prairie, again, you know, it's about undefeated teams, still undefeated. Again, love it. We're getting into it.
Yeah, another interesting one. Southeast Polk, they beat Ankeny, and then prior to that, they had drawn with DCG, who's top ranked in 3A, and then they just recently drew with Waukee Northwest as well. So Southeast Polk's there in like they're in the top 10, which is just interesting, right? They've had a lot of results, and I don't know. I mean, they're one of those teams that I don't know if they've ever been in the state tournament. But then speaking of DCG as well, they've only lost once all year to Johnston, 4A team. So just be interesting.
Heavy on the Eastern Side in 3A, right? You got Marion and Xavier, 2 undefeated teams still this late in the year.
Interesting.
And where's Liberty this year? They're not. Are they?
They're still in Iowa City, Ben.
Sorry. Are they 3A or 4A?
Well, I mean, Iowa City Liberty or West Liberty?
Was it West Liberty? Oh, sorry, West Liberty. Yep, sorry.
Are you thinking? Yeah,
Yep,
okay,
my fault.
So West Liberty is in 2A, traditional power.
Yeah, there they are. My fault. All right, disregard that. But yeah, so what else we have on? Let's just quick run through the rankings for the boys. They just put out their second edition here last week. Just you got that? Oh, the top 5 for 4A were.
They got to get that fixed.
Yeah, more regular updates. You mean? Or
No,
what?
just like a proper display.
Oh, you don't like the? Oh yeah, Blake. Yeah, Blake doesn't like the
Chris
interface.
Cuellar is listening
Doesn't like the
to the
interface
website.
on the
Man.
for the user experience.
Yeah.
On the website. Anyway, so Johnston, Centennial, Prairie, Waukee Northwest, and Southeast Polk are your top 5 in 4A. Urbandale, Roosevelt, City West, Lincoln, and Bettendorf rounded out for your top 10. It'll be interesting to see, after with Iowa City West dropping a game and Northwest drawing one in there, and Johnston dropping one. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll shake up a little bit. You want to talk about 3A, Siebes?
The 3A rankings?
Yeah. Or no?
No, because I can't read that.
Okay, got it. I'll keep going. So 3A's top 5 are Dallas Center Grimes, Cedar Rapids Xavier, Des Moines Hoover, Marion, and Norwalk. 2A, our top 5 are Gilbert, Unity Christian, Des Moines Christian, Bishop Elin, and Williamsburg.
Springer's got the boys rolling. They had a couple good results recently at Des Moines Christian.
Yeah, Gilbert also sticking with
BJ Jordan, yeah.
Well, yeah, and just not losing games. And then
they played Bondurant the other night, and I was talking to Brandon Cook Bondurant, and he said Gilbert again is like powerful, strong beasts.
Yeah.
So I think they're easily the front runner.
And then Class 1A, you've got Iowa City Regina, West Sioux, who last year, right, they were state champs, correct? So they've been hitting us up a bunch with goals, and they've been cruising out there. So I'll be curious to see if we get to enjoy them again at MediaCom.
Trainer undefeated, Benny.
Yep. Then you've got Trainer, Van Meter, and West Central Valley. A lot of the traditional powerhouses in the lower classes kind of stick with it, but it is really interesting to me how things have been getting shaken up in 4A. But what else we got out there? There's we want to quick talk about girls soccer.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that.
We'll just do a little quick. Let's just quick touch base on. They recently updated their rankings.
Well, so let's talk about some of the little bit of controversy on social media if we can. Like you can recuse on this one. You can recuse, but so I want to talk a little bit about
is that how you say that phrase?
Like you can just withdraw.
He can recuse himself.
Yeah, right.
Got it.
He may have a relationship he wants to manage here. So, so there's. First of all, I mean, I'm obviously coaching in these games and paying a lot of attention to all the games. We've been in a number of games that haven't went our way. We've talked about these on the pod, and you're getting to the point in the season like where the CIML teams are all playing each other, right? And so one of the great things about these games is that the girls are all amped up to win these games, right? There's a little bit of bite to the game. It's why like we cover the high school soccer. We enjoy it. So anyway, Southeast Polk plays Ankeny is it yesterday? Yeah, just yesterday. And so Dowling, we haven't played either of them yet. So we have Ankeny on Friday, and then we play Southeast Polk after that. So I'm interested in the game. Anyway, come to find out that the parents got super engaged in the game yesterday, and there was a mom that decided to post on Facebook and posted a picture of Ava Paoli, who's Ankeny's best player, very good player, and she's playing with a broken arm, and she's got her arms wrapped around a player at Southeast Polk. And the post was characterized basically as, can you believe it? She's grabbing this player, and these are the referees aren't calling enough fouls, and it generated quite a bit of follow-up feedback, right? So there's several comments, people are weighing in. I think even players are weighing in, and all this stuff. And so anyway, I was interested in that, so I watched the first half. And so I'm just interested, like, hey, is the referee doing a good job? Like, did it get out of control? And then I have seen maybe 5 tackles this year, maybe, that were yellow cards.
And one of them was one of your players.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I think we've gotten a couple yellow cards.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Well, you showed
tackles,
us one because
right?
you were like, ooh, this was.
I have yet to see a tackle that's a red card. Like, malicious, vicious, none. Not even close. Okay, and these are girls who are given, in my opinion, both sides of the ball. Our Dowling girls, and I'm asking our Dowling girls to give more, not less, right? So when I turned on the game. First of all, the referee in this game, right, was excellent. He was excellent, and I don't know who it is. I can't see who it is. I wonder if I bet we all would recognize him, but he was cruising in this game. Okay. This is a game that is below his level as a referee. And I can tell just by watching him move and watching him referee, he let the girls play. He managed the game without using yellow cards because he didn't need to, because there weren't that many fouls in the game. And he was right on top of the play all the time. So for our referee friends who are watching the game, you should, comment in and let us know who this is, because he had an excellent game. But my question would be, the point I would make is, if we're talking about this level of players, right, then the refereeing should be commensurate with the level of players. Well, so you shouldn't complain if you get a referee that's higher than the level of the players, right? And based on what I saw from the referee, I thought he was much better than the players. So we should not be complaining about the referee. But there are a number of clips in here too where I saw. So anyway, I went into the clip, right, of the still shot that was posted on Facebook, and I was like, I want to go find where that is. And so I went to find it, and I did, and it's with 6 minutes left. And if you actually put it into context of what's happening in the game, the ball gets played from midfield into the striker, who's Paoli. She doesn't have a great touch, so number 10 tries to tackle the ball. Paoli then... Good job.
Keep going, Matt.
I don't know how that went on. Here, I'll take it.
We're good.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Weird.
So
He
it comes
must
back
have-
to her. She tackles the ball, right? 10 tries to dig it out. Now, at this point, these are just two girls that are fighting for a 50-50 ball, right?
Yes.
Paoli then wins the 50-50 ball challenge. And so at this point, the ball now, she's gotten the ball through the legs of the Southeast Polk player. Paoli has every right to this ball, to go get the ball. And the Southeast Polk player is now in the way, right? And actually backs up into Paoli, right? Whose arms now go around her, and she just swims around her to get the ball. She does not actually hold on to her for anything more than maybe half a second. And then she goes and she wins the ball. And the referee does not call the foul. The referee is standing 10 yards from this. He is right on top of it. So he is 10 yards away for the entire duration of what's happening here. He's right on top of the play. He sees the whole thing. And it is consistent with how he has called the whole half, because there's only 6 minutes left in the half.
Well, I think that this is maybe just goes to overall, soccer, in those moments is meant to be physical. We're not advocating for naughty tackles or anything like that, but that sort of position, using your body and positioning yourself with your hips and your arms and using leverage to win the ball, that is a high level of soccer. Ultimately.
It's probably a
that's
foul.
what you're
It's
doing.
a foul at the end of the day.
Maybe.
It's a foul.
Maybe.
Okay. Right, but
That's
would
a
you
foul in Southeast
would
Polk,
you
I think.
encourage that type
no.
of play?
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying
Okay.
that's a foul.
If one of the Dowling girls didn't fight to win that ball, I'd be upset, right? So but you're right. Let's just say it is a foul. Okay, let's not.
Correct. Yeah,
not-
it's a touch. It's more like a touch foul. Or it's a foul within the context of the game.
Yeah.
It's not it's not a raised cleat. It's not going over the ball. It's not.
Do you think any of this has to do
lunge.
with the boy? So we talk about referees a little bit, right? And we haven't. I love it because we haven't talked about this before, so I don't know where this question will go. But the Boys Association, right, sent an email a couple weeks ago or recently. I don't know if that may be wrong about just the number of red cards and whatnot. Does this? And obviously the referees do a lot of the same boys and girls games. Do you think there's any correlation, or am I just throwing something out there and just to see if it has anything to do with it? It's a question for both of you guys. I don't know the answer to that. It's just interesting because the boys, right? The boys' side has had. It's all debatable as far as is there, quote, too many red cards already this season, not enough, whatever. But does it have anything to do with the referees doing both girls and boys? And being, I don't say influenced, but knowing like, hey, there's been a lot. I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know either. But
I just do think that like overall, you're not seeing like nasty lunges.
No.
Certainly not in the girls' game.
No.
You know, in the boys' game, occasionally you'll see something that's a little naughty or just like reckless, right?
Yep.
Like you're a little overeager, perhaps. And then you've got like, you know, obviously like sometimes when you're going up for like aerial challenges, sometimes those could be dangerous, right? If you don't, if the players aren't approaching those correctly, like, so those are times where you might blow a whistle and need to be like, hey, that's dangerous. But otherwise, like those types of fouls, and that's really all I'm saying is just those types of fouls are the types of, like, you want the players jockeying for the ball and wrestling for the ball and fighting for the ball like that. Like, that is part of the game, and that's what good players do. They don't just, you know, they don't shy away from a little contact.
Exactly. And this particular player who was posted by this mother on Facebook, like, you know, insinuating that she was, you know, to me, doing something incorrect, like, she actually is, she will probably likely be first team all CML conference.
She's a leading goal scorer for her team.
Yeah, I'm sure. How many goals does she have?
6 or 7.
Yeah, and so she's a really good player, and she's just,
7.
So there were a couple other posts as well though that were posted in the comments in this chat too. One of them, the next one is with 12 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game, and the ball gets played in from the left wing, right? And the Ankeny player here actually runs around the back shoulder of Southeast Polk's left back. The ball bounces on the 6-yard box in front of the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper spills it. Ankeny's player is in the box, challenges for the ball, wins the ball, kicks it out of bounds for a goal kick, and she and the goalkeeper collide. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that challenge. And I think on both sides, both fan groups were asking for fouls. And so this is but A, the goalkeeper has got to catch this ball, but B, this is exactly what you want from the striker when the goalkeeper spills it. She is literally 2 yards from goal. You're asking for everything she has. In fact, if it's me, I would have told her she needed to go to ground here to get her foot around the ball to score. Like, I actually think she doesn't give quite enough here, right? But people are faulting her for some reason for going in after the ball here. And it's just not realistic. It's just not what you want to promote. Like, it's excellent striker play, except she didn't finish.
Yeah, and ultimately what you're saying too is like the referee is protecting the players and letting them play when they should be allowed to play.
Correct. And by the way, the referee is on the edge of the 18-yard box when this goes up for a goal kick.
So well positioned.
Yeah, exactly. So there's another one in the chat too, and this is the third one I want to talk about, where the ball gets played in, and Southeast Polk's player, like the goalkeeper comes out to the edge of the box and collects it. This is with like 34 minutes left in the first half. The ball gets played over I think it's number 14 maybe for Southeast Polk. Is really fast. Ankeny's player takes a step in front of Southeast Polk's striker to shield the ball so the goalkeeper can collect it. I think it's good play. And then what happens is the Southeast Polker runs through the defender and knocks her over, and the goalkeeper collects the ball. And the goalkeeper gets stepped on, right? The goalkeeper gets hurt. Everybody's upset thinking the Southeast Polk player has committed this like egregious foul on the goalkeeper. Well, it's like, hang on a second. The Ankeny player stepped in front of her and allowed the ball to roll into the goalkeeper. Well, if she didn't want to do that, she should have just kicked it out of bounds. But I think everyone's made a good, fair challenge for the ball. And at the end of the day, when you have 3 players running each other at full speed, sometimes you run into each other. And everyone is sort of assuming, you know, that there is some risk that they might be engaged in a fair tackle and still get hurt. But there's nothing malicious in this. And so people start talking about how, oh my goodness, the game is so physical and there's these injuries. Like, I'm not saying it's a good thing because players are getting hurt, right? There was some tearing. We've got a player that tore ACL and stuff like that. But that is not reflected in some sort of vicious play by the girls. There's probably a lot of other things that are happening there, like a lack of technique and technical ability and good decision making is leading to you to running into other people and getting injured. right? The turf, the ball moves extremely fast. The turf is too fast for the standard of play in a lot of circumstances, which leads to people running into each other, I think. And then you just got, like, some of these injuries too. You've got to think about like how are the players managing their bodies, right? Like, I mean, just because somebody goes into a tackles and gets injured doesn't mean it was the tackle. It might be how they're taking care of themselves before and after the game. Anyway, so there's the post online, and so I thought I just wanted to chat about it because high school soccer started to get a bad rap for all this play, but that is, I've never seen a club game in Iowa at the high school level with the sort of intensity and desire that I'm seeing in some of these CIML games, and that's what you want. That's what's bringing out a better standard in some of the players. It's not to say that the games are perfect or they're a high standard by any stretch of the imagination, but you actually have games that matter for these girls. And, to say, I watched that whole first half. That is one of the most benign halves of soccer I have ever seen in my life when it comes to like tackles and stuff like that. Yes, there are some stuff, but I will tell you too, the parent that posted is from Southeast Polk. Southeast Polk is the team that actually had a yellow card in the first half, and it was the number 10 who was the player shielding the ball, like in the picture. And there were some other couple instances too. So anyway,
and I also feel like it's worth noting, out of the 38 teams in the girls soccer power rankings or whatever, Southeast Polk's 34 out of 38, and Ankeny is 14 out of 48. But Ankeny's lost 3 times this year to like top ranked teams. So
yeah.
I only say that to like I don't know if it was lopsided because I didn't watch it. And I didn't, it said the final score is 3-1. It said, so like that isn't necessarily lopsided to me, but
it was 1-0 Southeast Polk at that point. Up until the 6 minutes left in the first half, I haven't watched the rest of the 6 minutes. Southeast Polk is winning 1-0.
Well, and so maybe that, maybe they were frustrated because they were winning and then they ended up, losing grasp of the game or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I think overarching point is like we want the physicality in the game. It needs to be in the game. That's part of soccer. Now, obviously, within reason and safely and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Quickly, let's just talk about. I just mentioned the girls' power rankings from Bound, but let's just talk about.
I'm curious where you're getting those rankings, Ben, because I think your data was a little incorrect.
Ankeny is like way higher than 14.
Yeah, because
they're like 4.
Southeast Polk has the hardest schedule, and they're number 19 in the 4A or 3A power rankings.
Well, okay, fair enough. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong.
There's 40 teams. Anyways, yeah, no worries.
All right, we can talk about this offline.
Rankings.
Let's talk about the real rankings. Thank you.
Is that real? I guess we'll find out, right? Girls high school.
Athletic Union.
Yep.
Well, I guess since we've been talking 3A, let's just start there. Siebes.
So Northwest Valley, Centennial, Ankeny. I mean, super
number 5.
Centrally located, top heavy there.
Yep. 2A. You've got Waverly Shell Rock, Norwalk, DCG, North Polk, and North Scott are your top 5. And then you've got Bishop Heelan there at 6. Bishop Heelan always kind of a top team in 2A, one of your faves. What's 1A look like?
Weird that Assumption is up top right now, and then Des Moines Christian, again, all the typical. You got Denver up there, Hudson Trainer. So 1A has kind of been status quo for the past, I don't even know how long.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting if you look at I don't know what you want to call this stat, but they just point out in 3A, nobody changed from the top 15. Nobody dropped. There were some changes within the top 15, but nobody dropped out of the top 15. In 2A, one team dropped out. In 1A, 2 teams dropped out. But point being is you're seeing a lot of the same teams in that top 15.
Yeah. A couple of interesting results from 1A and 2A. So early on in the season, Waverly Shell Rock, who you mentioned is number 1, beat Ankeny 2-0. So that's a pretty significant result early on in the
Waverly
season.
Shell Rock is consistently very good, though.
Yeah, and the other thing I would point out is Des Moines Christian has not lost, and Assumption has a couple of games.
Yeah,
right?
and they
So
were
that-
I've heard they beat some 3A teams. Des Moines Christian.
They beat us. Yeah, thank you, Ben. Yeah, they did. They're good. They have one player, Edker, Oedker or something like that. She's a senior,
Something like that. Sure.
really good player. Would start in any team in the state. Really
Wow.
good. And she was very good against
I mean,
us.
you want to talk? I mean, they play Norwalk here this week, so, and then they play Johnston at the end of the season. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, like we said, things are heating up, literally and metaphorically. We're getting to that part in the season where things are starting to really matter, and we're getting excited for the sub-state and the state tournament. You guys got anything else you want to chime in on, or I'm just kind of maybe looking forward to more rankings next week to talk about, and hopefully we'll have another good slate of games to check out.
Love it, Benny.
All right, good deal. We'll see you guys next week.